Well, hello. Welcome back. This is UOAbigail, and I would like to welcome you to our 7th episode of our Ferret Business franchise. And a lot has changed since I last recorded. You can see out here I've begun working on our exterior a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a quick trip over here. This is going to be a highway, sort of. And you can see I'm using these compressed salt blocks for the center divider here, and we'll continue this on out in this direction, and etc., etc. But for now, yeah, that's kind of the theme I'm going to go with this. Now inside is where the major changes have happened. However, I've been messing around with our cascade. And we have a small little setup here going. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show you how it works real quick. Let me go ahead and grab some zombie flesh. We're going to go ahead and make a piece of leather. Now, this is not efficient in terms of, material costs and such, but it does work. And let's go ahead and grab some wood here real quick, and we'll go ahead and instead of using coal, I'm going to show you something else as well. And if my mouse will, there we go, cooperate with me, we'll probably eventually switch back to coal because this takes a little bit of time. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the zombie flesh and we're going to place it on these pedestals. Just like that. And I've already got a bunch of aura stored in here. Now the violet aura doesn't seem to really do much. It doesn't, because I've got a up here a aura capacitor, so that this way it does pulses large amounts, and then it pauses while it rebuilds and then pulses again. I'm going to figure out how to use those to make this almost instantaneous at some point. But anyway, in order to get this thing going, we just need to feed it some fuel. Now, I've got this this monitor here. Whenever it runs out of fuel, it sends out a redstone signal, and that of course triggers this dropper to send out another piece of fuel. So we're just going to go ahead and toss this out to start it. And you can see that it's got 28 seconds. And what it's doing right now is it's pulsing and filling up that capacitor right now. But we'll let this go ahead and run real quick. And then you'll see that it'll automatically shoot out. And as long as it doesn't land like over here somewhere, it'll shoot out another slab, which will automatically be sucked up by this burning aura pump to fuel it some more. So it's got a couple of seconds left. And boom, there we go. It continues to fuel it. So all I have to do is just load some coal in here or something like that and let it run. But anyway, what's going on is the white aura that I have stored in here is being sent to this aura node, and then, or my bad, it's being sent from this aura node to the pump. The pump is sending it up, and then it's either going back here and falling back down so that I can do power the cascading processor or the cascading colorer. If I had some sheep over here, it would color them. But anyway, what gets sent up here is being split between that and the capacitor. Now the capacitor, when it gets full of 1,000 white aura, sends the white aura to here, and probably some of it back to here as well. But when it gets to here, it flows around and then eventually falls down. And when it falls down, it creates power. And as it falls down, the white aura gets sent back to the pump eventually. But anyway, as soon as this receives 10,000 power on each pedestal, these 4 pieces of zombie flesh will be turned into a piece of leather. Now, like I said, this is not very efficient as far as this method. There are other methods of powering this, however, such as a falling entity. Like if we had a spawner up here, and we had one of the pumps that deals with falling entities, that would power it. So while we're AFK at a mob grinder, it could be automatically powering this, and we could be processing materials. So it's something to do. Also, up here, the quarry. It's currently mining out all the torches that I placed for some reason. But yeah, it finished everything. But when I reloaded the game up, it started taking my torches off the walls. So yeah, they're all being stored down here right now in this chest. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and let it finish up because we have a task to do. One of our first tasks, and I'll go ahead and take us down there real quick. Because like I said, this is done running. It finished out, and you can see this the uneven floor here. But you know, there are exposed, like somewhere over here. There's a dense diamond that I saw. I'm not sure where it's at right now, but it's in here somewhere. And you know, I want to grab a few of those things. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the quarry, get it gone completely, and then we're going to fill this back in, because there was over in one of the corners back here somewhere, when the water was removed, there was a couple of pieces of slime balls, which means there's probably a slime chunk here, unless it's like here or here. Ooh, we need a torch in there. Don't want no mobs spawning in that. But anyway, yeah. Need one up here as well. But yeah, I'm going to check to see if there's a slime chunk here, and if there is, we're gonna utilize that for spawning some slimes, and we'll deal with that later. But the main thing is I was waiting for this to finish before we could really continue on building our base, because I've captured a zombie spawner and a blaze spawner, and yeah, I want to set those up over here. I also went ahead and made some materials and some building blocks and stuff like that for the systems, because we will be moving the quarry at some point to either farther back, to the side, or to that side. One or the other. But I'll have to take this wall out to make it even with this, and then we'll just have a high vaulted ceiling or something. Oh, and as well, I have constructed a few more of these coke ovens. And yes, we have some of our dogs. I found a couple of them while I was out exploring around. So, you know, we can call them out, and with our dog whistle, we can tell them to stay if we want, then they will not follow us. Or we can tell them, you know, go back home, which is what I'm doing right now. This way I don't have to mess with them following me around and have them out causing you know, additional lag. And you can see here that actually shot too far. So it actually stopped. It's no longer working. So we'll just go ahead and throw this back on here. A more proper setup would have been to have like a block here, and then this on top of that block shooting that way. But you know, that was just a little experimentation. I will be utilizing our cascade at some point with some sheep, probably, to automatically color them, and then and there's also one of these cascading blocks here that will actually regrow their wool for them. So I'm thinking about having like a conveyor belt to take them up a couple of blocks and then drop them back down, and then use the power from the mob dropper one to power the pump, to power the devices. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But anyway, we have some work to do, and apparently there is a zombie around here, and I probably should have just turned my jetpack off. But yeah, come on in, buddy. Yeah, we'll take that. Close that door. Yeah, sometimes they want to break that door down to get to that villager I have trapped up there. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and throw that in there and put this up here. Eventually I'm going to set up my deco bench and start using our crafting clay to make some stuff when I start decorating this place. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started working as soon as that quarry is done removing them torches and shuts down. Then we'll just go ahead and remove the quarry itself and go down and see what we can do down below. So I'm going to wait for that, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Alrighty, I've got this went ahead and filled in with the dirt, and I'm pillared up here. I've got the chunks divided out. So now we just have to figure out which one of these chunks generates the slimes. Now, a small slime will easily hop across there because I've only got one space there. But the medium and large slimes will not be able to cross, so we will be able to tell which chunk the slime spawns in if it's a medium or a large. So there will be no question as to which chunk it is. So I'm going to wait here and find out which one it is. Alrighty, well, our entrance to our area is up here. Our base area is right there in the outside world. And down here, this chunk right here had one slime in it, one large slime. So I'm going to assume that if I was to dig out the rest of that chunk, that we would probably have more spawn. And this one here has spawned multiple times, spawned large slimes. There was a small slime here, but I'm going to assume that that spawned here and made its way over here. So we know for sure this one's a slime chunk right there. So we're going to go ahead and run with that one. Now that chunk goes all the way from there to that wall. That wall is actually the end of the chunk, if I am correct on my measurements. So we're actually going to need to set up our quarry on this wall here to remove that wall and additional space that way. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to go ahead and build the spawn platforms all the way up to Y40. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that off camera, and I'll just for the purpose of saving time for you, I'll go ahead and do that off camera, and I will show you the result. Alrighty, well here it is. I went ahead and went with these ornate stone brick tiles with the chisel. I had to cook up a bunch of stone, but we have it built all the way up to feet position of Y40 right here. So anyway, I went ahead and dug up to provide a skylight to kind of remove the fog from down here, so this way you could see it. And I may wind up digging others as well, just so that this way we can see down here without that. You can see how you can see that now, but you can't see it here because we're far away from that. And boom, there we go. So anyway, I've got to enclose this to contain these guys and channel them to a mob grinder. And then we can start collecting mob juice, which we can use to either spawn mobs from a powered spawner, or we can use it to power a dynamo to generate RF. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to get to work on that, and I will be back with you in a bit. Yeah, this seems to be working out all right. Yeah, I've got these are stone transport pipes, and I have a redstone engine down there powering it, and it's sending the items up. The draw distance, apparently they just start appearing right there, but if we move over there, we'll see the line. But yeah, this is kind of what I want to go for. I want the items to be out in the open so that we can see them as they go by. We're going to be doing the same thing with the quarry. I'm going to set the quarry up over there, but we'll go ahead and head down and see how close this is to finished. And it looks like it just about is. It's the last of those. See if there's anything down below here. Couple of items there, couple of items there, and yeah, it's completely emptied right now. So as we get more slime spawn, they'll just start pumping the items up. Now I've got a get down here real quick, this reactant dynamo here using gunpowder for right now, and mob essence, since we got plentiful supply of it now. And I'm using this bit of lava here and that little bit of lava there to break up the big slimes, because apparently the grinder down there just kills as one entity and we don't get as many drops. So at least that's how it seems. I'm assuming that that's what it's doing. It's just killing the whole thing off. So anyway, yeah, they will arrive and drop off here, and we'll get to see them as they pass by. And we'll eventually, move this based upon what we build in this area here. But I'm wanting these things to, be visible. I want to see our progress. So yeah, on to something else. Alrighty, well, our next project is up and running. We have a whole series of sag mills with some redstone furnaces, and the reason I chose the redstone furnaces rather than the alloy smelters is because this takes less energy to run. It's a little bit slower, but yeah, with this many of them it isn't really going to matter. Each one of these is set to accept a specific, like this one here accepts the iron ore, this one here accepts the copper ore. Now, I do realize, of course, that if you're smelting the iron or you're grinding the iron ore, you're going to get potentially cobblestone and like tin or copper or something like that. But anyway, it sends all of it to this redstone furnace, and then I went ahead and preloaded all of these Java barrels with specific outputs, and I'm just pulling everything out and sending it along this line here, and it just finds the appropriate Java barrel and inserts it directly. So as this thing runs, it's going to automatically sort out, and this looks ugly right now. I just have them in place here. Eventually I'll build like a wall or something right here, and then I'll have these lined up somewhere else. But it's going to automatically filter out the cobblestone and compress it. It's going to automatically take out the marble. Oops. Yeah, it's automatically going to put the marble, and of course it went into my digger's backpack. Yeah. Anyway, it's going to take the marble, the diorite, the andesite, the granite, and the dirt, and put them all in their respective locations. They're all blacklisted here. So this way they never enter this chest. This chest is mainly going to get gravel, salt, various shards, ores, coal, stuff like that. And see, I don't need to have that. Disable that. Anyway, so it's going to extract from here and insert into all these sag mills, and this last one down here is going to be grinding up gravel and creating flint, and then the flint is being extracted out and sent back into all of these because they're also whitelisted for the flint, so this way the flint stays full, or close to it anyways. And right now I have, yeah, this thing over here, might as well go ahead and show you. This has been running for a while, and yeah, I'm gonna have to empty that out soon. But anyway, as I was saying, these are set to automatically extract from here. Right now this is using blocks of coal coke and some regular coal coke that I had on hand in order to get the energy levels on these all the way up. And I have all of the energy currently flowing from this setup and that setup down there in order to get this filled up and get all that stuff that I brought over smelted down and ground up, etc. But I will be probably disconnecting this at some point, this connector, because I want this to run that. If I leave this connected, it's going to drain all that energy, and then there won't be enough energy to smelt. Now, of course, I will check to see how it runs with that set up as is, because if this can keep up, then I'll go ahead and leave that connected. Also, since I did dig to the surface over there, I could even dig to the surface over here, and then I could set up some photovoltaic cells to add energy to this entire setup as well. But like I said, I've got this quarry set up and ready to go. It's keeping 16 chunks loaded. All I have to do is take out that block and put in one energy conduit, and it will start running. So let's go ahead and do that now. And there it goes. So we'll stand up here and we will watch this for a little while and see how it behaves. And we got our first mob spawns. I already have a block of water in the back corner back there, so this way the mobs will not continue to spawn. And off it goes to begin its work. And we can see the items flowing in. Now I've got it set up here to take out this end piece on the wall, and when the water reaches over there, it's going to spill over the side. I have a feeling it's going to mess with the slime farm for a little while until I remove the water. But for now, we'll go ahead and let these zombies follow me around a little bit. They're not going to get too far. And of course they're going to be attracted to our villager over there, which is fine. Give them some place to be. So yeah, this is gonna run, and this is gonna create quite a bit more resources, and I will not have to spend a whole bunch of time like I did before manually smelting it down myself. This is going to do it automatically, and yeah, that's what I was intending. Eventually, I'm going to again move this and make it a little more like this, where it drops onto a conveyor belt and does its thing. But until I have more room to do that, I'm not gonna even try to set that up. So we'll go ahead and let this run and see how it goes. This is actually quite fun. Yeah, I've just been watching this thing run and playing with the mobs a little bit. This legendary omni tool that I managed to find at one point, you know, is a lot of fun to play with. I don't see a crafting recipe for one though, so apparently I did either get it as a drop from a mob inside the cave somewhere, or I got it as a reward from one of the ferret bags. But in any case, yes, I'm going to enjoy playing with this thing. Alrighty, anyway, I do believe we've reached the end of the episode for today. We did quite a bit actually. We got our quarry set up back there, and I've got some automation installed there for our coke ovens, and you know, etc. So anyway, I do want to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, this is UOAbigail saying have a great day.